Welcome back, welcome to a new video, and welcome to another wonderful product of nature. Flowers make our lives more beautiful, and actually they are a delight to our senses, to our touch, to our smell, to our sight. But did you know that they could also be a very nice treat for our taste buds? Let's talk about edible flowers. Flowers is something very trendy nowadays, but it's certainly not something new. Using flowers in food is something that goes back centuries. The Romans used to do it, the Chinese, Middle Eastern cultures, Indian cultures. Probably all of us know rose water, using roses to aromatize water. And that has been used for centuries, and it's come down to the days of today. How are flowers used in cooking? To make things very easy, we can put flowers into four main categories. There's the flowers that's regular flowers, the flowers that we buy from the florists, and we can use them to decorate our homes or plant in our gardens, which a lot of us are not aware that many of them are edible flowers. The second is fruit flowers, and by fruit flowers we mainly mean the blossoms, like orange blossoms and lemon blossoms, that are edible. The third category is vegetables. We have vegetable flowers which are the blossoms of vegetables, like squash blossoms, or some of the vegetables themselves are considered flowers. For example, artichokes are considered flowers. Cauliflower is considered a flower. And the fourth category is the blossoms of herbs. And probably this is the category that is used most, that is known most, and that is perhaps the most beneficial nutrition-wise. So let's take a closer look at these beautiful edible flowers. Now these are dried roses. Of course you can use fresh. They come in different colors. You can find the white ones, the pink, or the red. And you can use those as a decorative item or in the dish itself. There's pansy, begonia. The petals are best to be used, not the actual base of the flower here. It may be bitter, just use the petals, and actually a lot of times we recommend that you don't use the lower part of the petal, just the outer part, the top part of the petal, which is better for the taste. Other flowers, we have the hibiscus. So it's a big flower and it comes in different colors, but once it is dried, it becomes tiny, and you can find it either in dried petals or as dried buds. It has a wonderful aroma. It could be used winter or summer. It makes great tea. This over here is saffron from crocus. Crocus is the flower, and saffron is the stigma. It's the heart of the flower. And saffron is actually pretty expensive because it has a lot of therapeutic effect, but mainly because it's so time consuming and it needs delicate work until it is picked. So you will find it at around maybe $1,000 per pound. And it already colored my fingers. There's also tea bloom flower. This is dried, but you can see that it is a flower. You can use rose petals. You can use from fruits, blossoms of mandarins, blossoms of oranges, lemons. Now, you can also use vegetables. Over here is a squash, and this is the blossom of the squash. And in many cultures, this is actually a tree. What they do is they break this off, and you can see that the flower here is sort of hollow inside. These are very delicate. Actually, I got these in the market yesterday and they're already starting to wither. They should be used immediately. And a lot of people stuff them either with vegetables or vegetables and rice, or even rice and meat, and they are cooked. They are considered a delicacy. They can either be used as a side dish or as a main dish. So these may be a little bit more expensive than regular squash because they have the blossom on them. And then we have herbs. Of course, chamomile is a flower. It has a wonderful scent. You can see how beautiful it is dried. Of course, like any other product of nature, as we keep mentioning in every video, there's a difference from one area to the next. This is also chamomile, but you can see this is more delicate than this chamomile. It shrivels a lot easier. These are blossoms. This is what we call mountain tea, and they can go with the leaves or without. And this makes a very soothing and light colored tea. This over here is lavender. It has several uses, but of course you can add it in dishes or on top of food. This over here is a mix, so you can have a mixed tea of leaves and flowers. I have another flower. This is very nice, very odd. It's a cabbage, actually. You know, a cabbagey flower. You can see it from the leaves here. It's definitely edible. So, do flowers have any nutritional value? Yes, they definitely have a nutritional value. But, first of all, one rule of thumb is that no flower is safe to eat unless it is organically grown, because flowers usually are sprayed. So don't get any flowers from the sidewalk or in public gardens and parks. If they are organically grown and you know where you're getting them from, then they are to be consumed. That's number one. Number two, not all flowers are edible. If you eat those, it's very possible that you're going to be poisoned. Okay? For example, buttercups are not edible. On the other hand, some flowers which we don't even think of, daisies for example, they're gorgeous flowers. They don't have any fabulous smell. They don't taste very well, but they're 100% edible. Just take into consideration those two factors before you start including flowers in your kitchen. Another thing to remember is that some people may be allergic to flowers, so you need to be careful and you need to know if you are allergic to them or not. Of course, when we use flowers in food, we use them in minute amounts, so if you eat a couple of petals, even if you're allergic, chances are that it's not going to be expressed. But nutrition-wise, where do I start? I mean, there's hundreds of edible flowers and we're just taking a small sample here today. For example, chamomile is often used to reduce stress, for anxiety. It's used a lot of times for children and even babies as a drink to soothe in their tummy. Chamomile is also anti-inflammatory, it's anti-carcinogenic even. Pansies, a rich source of vitamins and minerals, anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. It's rich in potassium, it helps the heart, the blood pressure, the kidneys. Roses, they contain antioxidants, they have anti-inflammatory effects, they help with diabetes, cancer, and they're also used for relaxation. Lavender, it's anti-inflammatory and it's used as an antiseptic. Squash flower, it's high in calcium, high in vitamin C, and high in vitamin A. Hibiscus is known to reduce blood pressure and to reduce cholesterol. Crocus or saffron. Studies show that it does increase libido, it improves memory, and it boosts mood. So there you go. We could go on forever. So how can I include flowers in my diet? First of all, we know rose water, that's one thing. Another thing that you can do is make jams or syrups. Roses make a beautiful jam, and you can use that like you use any other jam. You can also make flower syrups. So you can make a syrup of 1:1, 1 sugar, 1 water, boil it, and then add the flowers in there like fruit blossoms. And then you can either drain the syrup and just leave this aroma of the flower in there, or you can serve it with the flower. One of my favorite things, I like to use them in ice cubes. You put the water in an ice tray and you either put the flowers, and since the flowers are very light, they're going to be floating. So half the flower is going to be outside the ice cube and half the flower is going to be in the ice cube, which is a fabulous way to present it. Or you can put the tray with the water in the freezer, wait a little bit, like maybe 15 minutes. Again, it depends on the strength of your freezer. And then once it starts to become ice, you take it out and you add the flour in it. So it goes in the center of the ice cube. That's totally up to you. When you're using flowers and herbs in ice cubes, use the fresh ones. With roses, they're going to become softer. They're petals. Anyway, if you use rose buds or the petals, then you can use fresh or dried, that's the same. But with herbs, try to use the fresh ones. So when the ice cube melts, it has a nice texture in the mouth. I have roses, I have rose petals, I have the chamomile, and it really gives a very nice and delicate way of presenting something. Now these ice cubes you can serve with water, with lemonade, depending on the color combination that you want to do, or you can even use it with alcoholic drinks. Saffron. What you can do with saffron is, for example, with plain rice, put some saffron ahead of time in a little bit of water, and you will see that the saffron will bring all this yellowish orange color in the water. Keep the saffron right before you turn the rice off. Pour that water in the rice. Now, if you turn the rice over, then the yellow color will go all over the rice, and that will give it a nice yellowish color. Or you can just spray the water and leave it where it has gone. And when you're serving the rice, some of the grains are going to be yellow and some of the grains are going to stay white. And that's another wonderful way of presenting color and flowers in your food. A very common way of serving the flowers is tea, of course. Choose a teapot that looks like this, where you can actually see what you've got in the pot. You can either put herbal tea, and the blossoms of the herbs, as we said before, their taste is similar to the herb, just a little bit stronger. Or you can use something more impressive. And here I would like to use the tea bloom flower that I showed you earlier. This has no taste and has no smell. It has a soothing effect on the body. It may bring some very, very light yellow. But in order to help that, I just put a couple of grains of black tea and some jasmine tea. And again, know how to make herbal tea. You can go to the video on sage, and that's where I explain how to make herbal tea. I'll have the link at the end of this video. And then I'm going to add the tea bloom flower in here. And of course, we always put the lid on. I'm going to show you another way of using flowers in your food. Now here I have just one piece of cheese, white cheese, it could be feta cheese. You can sprinkle roses on top of it and make a really, really nice effect. Now the cheese is damp, so some of the petals are going to stick on there anyway. But if you don't want that to happen because you don't know if your guests like eating petals, don't use anything else, and as they come to eat, they can just tap the cheese and consume it. But if you do want the petals to stick on the cheese, what you can do is combine honey with a little bit of water, and honey goes great with white cheese, and you just pour it on the cheese, and then when you put the petals on it, the petals just stick on the cheese. So it's up to you what you want to do. Okay, I think our tea is done. It looks gorgeous. Oh, the jasmine smells nice, and jasmine is a very digestive tea. So if you have a big heavy meal and you want something to digest, jasmine tea is a choice. So what's to remember about flowers? Not all flowers are edible, so do your homework before you make a choice. Make sure that the flowers that you choose are organically grown. Use them in the summer, use them in the winter. Flowers add a very elegant touch to whatever it is that you're going to serve. And when something looks so elegant and so beautiful, it always increases our appetite. Because remember, the closer we are to nature, the healthier we are. This is the end of this video. If you like the content, then please click the subscribe button underneath the video so that you can be notified every time there is a new video coming up. Join our Facebook group for discussions and comments. Follow us on Instagram and Pinterest so that you can see our beautiful photo gallery. And thank you, and see you next time.